part we were talking about?
Well, I had some comments on some of that, but
Sure. Comments. Go.
It is pretty interesting that there's a ton. This is a men's issue too, because there's a ton of war veterans running around out there with post percussion syndrome, also known as closed head injury syndrome. If you're not in a shit posting arena and you're talking about real life, making fun of guys who've had that, you're making fun of a lot of guys with PTSD. There's a tendency to stigmatize them like they're stupid or dangerous. Most people with head injuries like that, and I'm one of them, going back to childhood, it knocked out a part of my vision and a lot of my coordination. My IQ works good though. But in any case, again, if it's Jim and we're just fighting, fine. But I mean, in general, it's actually pretty not cool for a men's human rights activist to be mocking somebody for dealing with a disability like that. And they do that shit, and there's other stuff besides, even I loved listening to that tale of Mad Cat, and I'm glad people helped him, and we argued at one point, but I retweeted his fundraiser too. But see, there's something wrong with that. Now you're supposedly running a men's human rights groups, but we get when you do that, you'll get people looking for help all the time, and you'll never be able to help them all. What you have to be able to do, and what we used to do, is we would make lists of local groups and local resources and help people find a local resource that would help them, and that they would maybe also start other groups to do stuff. And this is what other men's rights groups do. There's lots of other men's rights groups, and some are better than others. But since there is very little to no government funding,
so may I ask you a question about
help people? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. What you just said. Are you saying that like sort of they raise all this money, but they're not putting it into the into the best areas that would actually
the community that built them and the community around them has suffered because they've all just sucked all the money and attention for themselves, and they have offended a lot of people, and a lot of guys have come away from them with being treated very badly by them.
Oh,
and they don't have any process for appealing that. Yeah, one of their biggest problems is they got no policies at all. In fact, the biggest joke about them is they're asking to build a house, and after they're done with having a house, then they'll have a formal agenda to say what they stand for. They can't even tell you what they stand for as men's rights, except compassion, which is weak fucking tea. So that's my whole answer to you there. There's nothing wrong with them existing, and there's nothing wrong with them asking for money. But they're pretending to represent something they aren't. And they are really letting down a large community of people who really wanted to do something and are still wanting to do something, and shouldn't have to wait for them for leadership or approval. The whole thing is fucked, and they won't take the criticism, and they won't hear it.
Okay, let's.
I would actually like to support what Dean's saying to a degree. Well, I can't speak to his full experience, but what I can say is that the honey badgers, I think they could do a lot more, but where it would have to start is within the group itself. And, one of the frustrating things I had with the group is that nothing ever really got done. I mean, sure, they went to cons, sure, they did this and that, but it's like so many people come to them wanting to help out, wanting to do something. And I was one such person. And I kept asking them, like, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. And a lot of the times I just wound up getting stuck in some bureaucratic nightmare. Like, I'd go to Allison's like, hey, let's do an idea for a show. In fact, one even happened where it's like, hey, I have this idea for a show. And this is my idea and I'd like to be a part of it. And I'm like, oh, well, you need to go talk to Brian. Okay, so I go talk to Brian. I'm like, hey, I have this idea for a show. He's like, oh, well, you have to talk to Allison. Okay, I go back to Allison, telling her that he told me to talk to her. She's like, well, no, I can't really do anything about it. So I go back to Brian's, like, Brian says, I'll look into it. Nothing ever happens from it. And the organization of this group is just, I think there's a lot of improvement there. And I think if they were to take that more seriously, I think it would echo through everything else that they do. I mean, another example that I want to give out.
I want to bring this up. There's lots of examples. I don't mean to interrupt, but he isn't the only one to bring this up. And there was a whole scuffle with a former honey badger named Rachel Edwards, and I sadly, stupidly took the wrong side, because subsequently talking not just to her in the past. I haven't talked to her in almost 2 years, by the way. I just remember I've not talked to her, but she noted a lot of filthy practices in the Badger business behavior. And stuff like he's talking about and more, and she got drummed out and harassed away, but based on talking to other people, I believe she was telling the truth, and all they did was try to smear her name, like they're doing to Queen of Bands now, like they're doing to you now, like they've done to me, like they've done to other people. Okay. They've run smear campaigns on.
Before we continue on, because he doesn't have too much time here.
All right, sorry.
Sweetie boy Jim, what's going on, buddy?
Hey,
how you doing there, Andy? I heard you having a little powwow over here. I didn't have my essays ready. I didn't know that this was happening. I don't have my essays ready. I feel unprepared.
You didn't write your essay? I thought you were writing your essay yesterday, though, in case.
Well, 5,000 fucking words, a couple of pages, MLA formatting. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to share feelings on the internet.
Well, okay, have you even spoke to Dean yet at all?
No. I heard Dean do like 3 streams where he brought me up, wanted to come on the Kumite, and then Karen, I guess, Girl Writes What, freaked the fuck out because she didn't want me and Dean speaking, because I guess Dean is going to expose the Badgers and lead to their destruction or some weird shit. So she was very against the notion of us talking, even though it was not related to her at all or them at all for some reason. So yeah, I just kind of tuned in. I thought you were doing like a Dankula show. I didn't know this was a Badger show.
Well, we spoke about like Dankula for a bit, but then all the Badgers hopped in, so we were talking about that. And I didn't even know until I messaged you yesterday. I DM'd you yesterday because I was watching your video, and I'm like, wait, why is I'm apparently involved in the plan?
Oh no, you're scum. You and JF are scum, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you're partially responsible.
Are you saying that Karen Strahan considers me scum?
Yeah.
Well, you could infer that from her comments. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I'd recommend going watching V Monroe's stream with her. She had quite a few things to say about you,
this, even as I entered this show today, I don't know these guys, but what I know is that I've had super high respect for Karen Strahan. I consider that she's one of the best MRA in the history of human civilization. And I'm shocked that you would be telling me that she may suggest that she doesn't like me. Personally, I have the highest respect for this woman.
Well, and apparently, you're in for some disappointment, Jeff.
Yeah, and apparently we're working behind the scenes to destroy them. So I want
to say what happened, because there's context missing here. There's Queen of Bands, okay, who I've assigned to be our organizer here at Warski Live.
And she's great.
She does a great job of interacting with people, making investigation, and she makes these shows very cool because she finds the right people to be discussing these issues. I think that a lot of our investigative work has been misinterpreted as me and Andy wanting to know stuff about the honey badgers. I would say personally, everything I've heard and the blogs I've read against the honey badger, I am convinced that there is no case that the honey badgers are committing any acts that is unethical. They are being criticized by a part of the community. I hear Dean's argument. I don't see anything unethical in what the honey badgers did. And personally, even if Queen of Bands has taken the initiative of making her research on this, personally, what I concluded when I reviewed the entire set of data is that there is no evidence of unethical behavior in the honey badgers, and I keep my respect for Karen, despite everything I've read.
I will agree with you. I don't know.
Let's get. Yeah, I want to.
That was a good ass kissing, man. That was really good ass kissing.
I'm very curious from the stuff that I saw on Metokur. You're doing like what, a 3 or 4 part series or something on this shit. You must know more. Like, why did you just laugh there after you heard JF say his point there?
Oh, no, it's just funny listening to people come to the defense of somebody that shit talks them. So I think it's amusing because I'm sure like in a day or two when he finally listens to that V stream and reads some of those tweets about how you two aren't going to be untouchable in a day or two, or how I should do a video on JF because if I'm offended by people molesting children, I should want to do one on him. I think it'll be.
Know that. Well,
I think it'll be entertaining.
Yeah. No, seriously, because this is serious. If she insinuates that the false allegations against me,
that's what I'm saying, Jeff. you were bashing as a joke Count Dankula for making fun of you. She is going through the fucking things of saying like the actions of saying that you are a child molester.
Let me explain to you something, Karen. Everything you fought for in your life is exactly the shit I'm stuck in with these court events. So if you stand with my abusers who have lied against me for years in court and who are now using this false information to smear me in the media, you are not even an MRA. It's not that you're not a good MRA. You don't understand men's rights if you believe X's on their statements, and I deny everything that I've just said.
Let me quote you.
Fuck you, Karen.
Let me quote you verbatim here. You can go listen to the stream because that was more interesting than the tweets. But what, Jim isn't JF's boss? He thinks abuse of mentally incompetent people is okay, but only when JF does it.
This is everything that Karen has been fighting against for more than 5 years. This is all the reasons that people like this girl, is that she was standing against the abuse of men in court. And now she believes the abusers of men in court. This is ridiculous. Was she drunk? Is she confused? I don't know, but fuck her.
She is getting the honey badgers themselves. I've been getting a lot of heat lately, right? They've been getting bashed. And like a lot of people out there who have been getting shit on, who are the easiest people to go after right now? Internet blood sports people.
Oh, wait, Andy, let's get the anger a little ramped up. Here's another one, JF, just for you. Sorry, what? Are you saying that autistic people who are mentally incompetent should be allowed to be exploited by assholes who want a baby and a biddle wife so he can keep his green card? And where's Jim here? The guy who makes videos about abusive pediatric dentists.
Karen, you are a fraud. You've stood for 5 years making revenue out of convincing men that you would be defending them. And now the first time you have an opportunity to actually do it, you turn 180. Fuck you, Karen.
Hey, Jean-Francois,
well,
I want to shout this. I know of, and I don't run any of them, but I can refer you to multiple online groups to help you find either emotional support for that or possibly some legal strategy advice. Just let me know after the show. I actually do this shit. Okay, there you go.
Well, I want to say,
Jim, man, those are rough.
What's that?
Those are rough, man. I didn't know she said that.
That's the kind shit. Go listen to the V Monroe stream.
That's the kind shit.
That you're so out of the loop on what these people talk about when you're not around.
Oh,
well, I would like to say something real quick. One of my biggest complaints about the honey badgers is that they're not taking this opportunity. Yeah, a lot of people are saying bad things about them, but you know, there are two ways to respond to this. Either go on the attack to try to defend yourself, or take a step back and say, hey, maybe these people have something legitimate to say.
Or
unfortunately, doing the latter, former, saying, oh, well, we're just going to attack everyone. All they're going to do is destroy everything that they've worked up for to this point. And they're going to destroy themselves in the process.
And they won't address their little critics. They only want to go after people they perceive as possibly being able to bring them more clickbait. They otherwise are above any of their other critics.
So do you think that they're saying this shit about JF right now? Because right now, Internet Blood Sports is doing very well. Therefore, any controversy surrounding us is probably the thing you should be talking about to get more clicks.
I don't think so.
In fact, that whole thing on autism, give me a break. I mean, really. I mean, I may think somebody like some people may overuse the autistic thing because I got autistic people in my family. But what I tell my kid, and what I tell, like, I got a volunteer on my team, Buckley, who's autistic. I say, if they tease you for being autistic, give them shine back, because you could do that. I even give them tips on how to do it, because you got to get over it, right? Just like calling somebody a retard. Well, I do have retarded friends. I don't call them that, not to their face, because I'm not an asshole. But I understand people use the word retard colloquially. It was a flagrant attempt to start a fight over there's 50 more important issues than somebody like Metokur is saying autistic too often and too carelessly. What the I'm gonna mute out because all these bitches make me sick.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Dean on this. I don't think that they're specifically trying to get clickbait. I'm sure they don't mind when they get the attention, but I think that they actually feel insulted and they're misunderstanding many different things at once and are just going with it. They're reacting emotionally. They're just reacting to whatever comes their way, and that this is just what we're seeing, and that they're not purposely trying to get the most views or get the most donations in this instance of anyone criticizing them.
Isn't the point of being an MRA is that when someone is falsely accused in court, you read the court documents, which we have live, I think probably like fucking 5 times. I'm sure JF is fucking sick of us reading court documents that aren't interesting, and they keep using the fucking lawyers' fucking attack on JF as the doctor's shit. And then when you read the doctor's shit, it's completely it's like saying that high functioning, finished school, drove cross country, all she had was social. We've read it over and over. Isn't the point of being an MRA is defending men in court for
yes.
sure? Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck is she doing?
Are experts at false allegations. I did a lot of work on false allegations, including helping get out dads and guys who were in jail on false allegations. I literally did that shit as an MRA. And Karen is well enough versed in how to use family courts this way. We've talked about it so often about how especially women, but I mean guys can do it too, but especially women these days can get away with accusing you of anything, and there'll be a threat narrative against you, and now you're a bad guy. And an MRA is spreading that on you without knowing, without even a conviction.
Let me respond to that.
Now, I want
to respond to that real quick.
Real fast. I want to know, because Jim, you and Dean had problems for like a month. So like,
I think we shit talk each other off and on for like 2 years. It's a guy thing. All
right,
it's what guys do.
So now that this is like you guys are in the same room, is there anything you want to say?
Oh no, really. I just came on to watch the Honey Badger shit show. I mean, I had a few minutes. I was in the middle of stuff, but let me just throw this out because I got to jump.
All right,
go watch the V Monroe stream with Karen. She has quite a few things to say about you and JF. You're a money whore, Andy. What have you done for men's rights? And JF is pathetic for fucking retards.
I'm not a men's rights activist.
Yeah.
So let me just throw that Molotov and take my leave. Have a good day, guys.
Why?
Okay.
What? Oh, adding money grabbing whore. I've been on YouTube for 12 years. I went from comedy to skits to fucking anti-SJW stuff to debates. Do I enjoy making money online? Yes. I enjoy making money online. Do I beg for donations? No, I don't. I haven't done a fucking GoFundMe and Kickstarter. People donate. I read their shit. I thank them. They keep us alive, and I'm fucking happy.
You're not offering anything except entertainment.
I provide free 4-hour streams 3 times a week.
And you're offering entertainment. You're very open about what you're doing. You're offering entertainment. There's nothing wrong. You don't owe anybody to be a men's rights activist. You do not. I mean, it'd be nice.
Is it the point of their fucking show? They have a fucking new GoFundMe every fucking 5 days for something?
Yes, and they can't even tell you what their men's rights agenda is. And there's men's groups all over the planet they don't even know about.
Oh, yeah, look at this. Look at this. They're men's rights activists. We've figured out how to do a show that can provide to keep the lights on and that we can enjoy our lives. And now it's like, oh my God, bitch, you ask for GoFundMes every fucking week. Jim, why would you throw a Molotov? I'm upset right now. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, this is why I think they're reacting emotionally rather than logically, because if they were thinking on a logical basis, they would say, well, we shouldn't use attacks that undermine everything we've worked for. We shouldn't attack people for false allegations. We shouldn't, judge men for anything that the feminists judge them for. If they were being logical about their approach, they wouldn't be doing these things. The fact that they are tells me that they're reacting emotionally. They're doing the thing that girls do. And I know that's sexist of me to say, but girls react emotionally. That's what they're doing, and they're just trying to go out for blood. You insulted them, so they want to insult you, and they want to make sure that when they do it, it's for good.
Them? I never insulted them.
No, I think he's being too nice. I really is, because he's a very nice guy. I used to suffer from some of that too, and he's wanting to.
I'm not a nice guy.
All right, well, I didn't mean it condescendingly. You're trying to be a kind person, and you're trying to find.
I'm not being a kind person. I'm saying how it is. They're reacting in a very emotional way. I'm not saying, they're secretly trying to do this and that. No, I'm just calling a spade a spade. You know, I'm not trying to throw anything more than that there is. They're just acting emotionally. And if anything, it says something worse about them than if they were acting methodically.
I think they've been doing this to people for 3-4 years now. Ever since it was obvious Red Pill movie was going to be a thing, and they decided they wanted it to be their thing. And that they wanted to basically capture it and make it all about them. And they're very close confidants, and that's what they did. And I'm going to repeat, I believe they have probably made significantly more money from Red Pill movie than Cassie J or her production company have.
You know what?
And they've actually interfered with efforts to market the movie outside their little internet clique. And that's just another reason it's a problem.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm starting to think here. I've been fucking as nice as possible to these motherfuckers, like completely, forever. I think now that I'm looking back at it now, when they were, I don't know if any of you saw Bloodapalooza. It was on Kumite. It was on the weekend. Metokur faced off some people. I fought Sophane, and Metokur went after and battled Allison, who said she didn't even know what the debate was really about, just defending someone. But she was there. She was there to shill, and I kind of went after Allison, not in a negative way. All I said to Allison was, the reason people are angry at you for being here right now is you admitted that you weren't even ready for a debate. You came here to shill your stuff. So do you think that maybe she was just mad at me? I wasn't trying to be like, no, fuck you forever. I was just telling her this is why people are upset at you right now. So
no, it's more than that. It's because you associate with Dean. It's because you associate with Metokur. We're all part of it.
Dean, I didn't even know who the fuck you were.
Yeah, I know.
You're just doing your job. You're being a good person, but since you're now associated with them, you're all tied into it. And plus, you're a popular person. Okay. So that puts
anybody who's got bigger target on your back. Anybody's got anything negative to say about them, they will smear, and they've done it to a lot of guys.
I didn't.
And you didn't know.
So I see, because me and Metokur have got along on some streams and sort of troll people here and there. Because I know Metokur, they're like, oh, now let's go after Andy. So what, anyone that Metokur's cool with, they should go after? Is that what's happening right now?
They've done this shit to multiple people smaller than you, and the problem is it's growing out of control on them, and it's bubbling up to people who are a bigger and bigger level. They've done this shit to other guys. And so, I mean, really, it's unbelievable how irresponsible they've been and how self-serving they've been and how venal they've been. I mean, did you know they used to have a cam girl on there, right? Who was one of their co-hosts. I knew that wasn't going to work out, and I mentioned it to a couple of them. I said, having a co-host who's a cam girl, she's going to be trolling for clients and stuff. That's just not going to be a good. I mean, unless not as a men's rights activist. And lo and behold, I got multiple reports from multiple people that yes, she was trolling for business, and even shit like, oh, for extra, I'll wear a honey badger bra when I do my cam session for you to fap with me too, and stuff like that. It's just seedy stuff that it's like, it's none of my business if you want to be a cam girl, but you're not doing that. That's not men's rights activism. What the fuck are you thinking?
I'm always, and I've always said this, I'm always on the fence of if girls want to show their cleavage, I have no matter for what reason.
It's their business. Okay?
I'm fine with that. I am completely, in fact, if I were a girl right now, my nipples would be showing through my fucking shirt right now.
Here, buddy, you're going through a bad time in your life, and we're the men's rights activists, and we'll help you. And for $50, you know, I'll show you my titties and I'll be wearing a honey badger bra and I'll pretend to be Karen for you or some shit. I'm sorry, that's just another level of stupid if you're going to be calling yourself a men's rights activist. I mean, again, professionalism, does it exist at all? Does it exist at all? And does anybody else in the men's rights community have anything worth hearing to say about it, ladies? There's what I'd ask.
But go
Andy
ahead.
is going to be reading some super chats.
Thank
but
you.
What I'd like to correct is, Andy, you said we are not an MRA show. We are the biggest MRA show on the internet.
No,
okay. I want a piece of that honey badger pie. I want those super chats. I want this Patreon. And Karen Strongen has demonstrated that she does not respect the issue of false allegations in court in my case. And therefore, what I recommend for the MRA community, which I'm a part of, let's move our focus to Warski Live. Warski Live is the center of the defense of men's rights in North America.
You know what? I got to tell you something, Jean-Francois. I actually signed. I was one of 3 people that signed the original document declaring the men's human rights movement a thing. Now, there's a real good group called that, run by on Facebook, run by R.K. Hendrick, called that. But I will now declare, as one of the co-founders of the men's human rights movement, that this is currently the best men's human rights show on the air, and I grant the crown to you. I'll also make you a honey badger. I named all of those bitches honey badgers, so you're a honey badger too.
Here's the thing is we're
I thought honey badger were just women. Are you calling Andy a woman now?
Yeah.
Well, he is kind of a bitch. No.
Oh, this nigga, yeah.
See, I can do Jerry Springer.
No, I
you know what makes us the best MRA show? And
I'm a little
say
bit
goodbye real quick. So. Check y'all later. Thank you for allowing me on.
Peace.
Bye-bye, Mudcat. You know, Andy, what makes us the best MRA show? It's not just the number of viewers, which is greater than any other MRA show. It's that we have support from the community. Here we have Dean, an experienced worker on the field, who just crowned me chief of MRA. I have an ongoing case in the North Carolina Court of Appeal against the false allegation against me. The result will come out this week, and I'm very confident that we will be changing the law so that there is case law of men protecting their family, protecting themselves against false allegations. I am the king of MRA.
Well, I wanted to say, hang on, I want to say something, please. I wanted to say one thing. When I said we're not MRAs, is like he goes, Andy's being a bad MRA.
Oh, whatever.
I've never, hang on. While I'm for the rights of everyone, including men, of course, I've never claimed to be specifically this show only MRA. It's everything. It's everything and in between. However, me getting super chats does not make me a bad MRA. I've never done what they've done, which apparently is some sketchy shit, which it's all alleged, but there is sketchy GoFundMes that the money doesn't go specifically to where they say they're going. And this is shit that people have told me after Metokur's video, not before, Karen. This is after. So maybe you're the ones being shitty MRAs right now, because I don't get GoFundMes and saying they're going here when they go there. So don't fuck with me right now. You're the one who's exposing yourself, because I didn't give a fuck about you. Hey, David.
Let me mention this about Jean-Francois. We're, of course, kidding. No, you're officially the king of all MHRAs now, Jean-Francois. Forever, I grant you that. No, but in seriousness, and just to be totally serious for a minute, a man who is willing to take a public stand and say there are allegations against me and these bitches are lying is doing something that it's important, because most guys pussy out and do whatever it takes to make it go away and say whatever they got to say to make the issue go away. When you actually say, no, I will not do that, the bitch is lying. I mean, it'll offend feminists, but fuck them. They're horrible. No, you got to stand up for yourself. I really applaud any guy who does that, and I've supported other guys who've done it.